Hello there, Gemini, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today I'm going to be doing your October love reading. We'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot to get some more details. And if you are resonating with the message or enjoying the content that I create, I would really appreciate it if you would consider like, sharing, or subscribing. Okay, let's get into your reading. We're first going to take a look at the overall energies for the month of October in your romantic love life. Oh my. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take one more because that popped out. Okay, this is a good reading, Gemini. I love this. There's something about home. You're asking the question why, and look what's on the bottom. Ten of Cups. It's the milk and honey, but it's about the Ten of Cups. What is your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? What is it that you're really trying to manifest as far as love and home goes? And to me, this is kind of like, definitely wanting. Your soul is almost aching for a happy family situation, whatever that means to you. And that's going to be different for everybody. But it's about asking the question, why do you want this? Perhaps even, why don't I have this? And, really trying to manifest to have this in your life. For some of you, you could have a romantic situation, or your love life might, actually, you could have been divorced, or maybe you were with somebody that you thought was going to be a long-term happy family. Look at this underneath here, soul connection, definitely, with the loyal heart. I feel like for some of you, you were either in a connection that you thought was going to go long term, or you thought was going to bring you almost like the fairy tale ending that you were hoping for, whatever that means. Your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And something has happened because you're asking the question why. Either that, or you're kind of wondering, why is this not happening for you? And for some of you, I actually think you may be thinking back to your childhood, either in a nostalgic way of, why can't I have like what my parents had, or why did that go so wrong? And maybe, how has that affected me in getting my happy family? It's kind of with the why question, it's really kind of getting that's interesting. It's kind of getting into, a deeper sense of it. Perhaps even looking at childhood wounds, or just a sense of, hey, how did I get here? And how can I get to where I want to go? It's almost kind of like you're in this spot where you're here and now, which is a great spot to be at. And you're really kind of almost assessing your life. Like, what has happened in the past that has brought me to this feeling right now that I have about what I want when it comes to family, when it comes to romantic love, and where do I need to go? Really tight, almost taking like an assessment of your life, and not just kind of like the physical assessment of what's going on around you, but really kind of almost going within, because no place like home is a little bit like that hermit energy, being a little solitary perhaps, but really going within. It's almost kind of like this sense of, I really want to get this right. And Gemini, you could want it, one way one day and another way the other. Another day, right? I mean, that's one of the loving traits about a Gemini, but I get a sense that you want like to focus on your direction. Like, you kind of really want to figure this out and go in that direction. And I get, for a lot of you, this is, the milk and honey is kind of like your heart is calling you for you to go on this path to find what it is that you truly want. And, you definitely have a soulmate connection here, either coming in or somebody that, you may be with right now. So let's go to the soulmate cards. Now, one popped out while I was shuffling. It's cycles. destruction, surrender, and forgive. It's kind of interesting because I said before, some of you could have been either married or been in a committed relationship where you were thinking you were going to build a family with that person. And I do feel like for some of you that ended. You could be in separation, or there's chaos in that connection right now. And with the cycles, it's kind of like realizing, hey, we kind of have this pattern, or you could have a pattern in your relationships, or this person that you're dealing with has patterns. You could be looking at the patterns because it's kind of like you realize intuitively that the secret formula that you're looking for in order to find your happiness, your 10 of cups, your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is somehow connected to these cycles. And it's like a pattern that you want to break. And then we have surrender. So surrender says detach, trust, free fall, have faith that all will be. It's this sense of, yes, I know what I want. And now it's almost like you're putting it out to the universe and trying to stay in that high vibration to be able to manifest the true soulmate that you want, the happy family that you want. It's kind of like you're doing the work. I get a sense that you're doing the inner work and then allowing all of this to go. Here's inner child, awakening, self-worth. It may and home again. Yeah, there's definitely something about a lesson perhaps that you needed to learn around self-worth. You may be a person, Gemini, and you are this way. You're very giving, right? You may have overgiven in past connections. You may have even, in a sense, overgiven even when you were a child. Like there may have been a lot of demands on you as far as like you had to really help out at home, or there was a lot of expectations or something like that. And you got into this pattern of give, 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 give. And you haven't gotten into the receive. And I get a sense that it's almost like the tides are turning because you've given so much. It's almost like you have no more to give. And now you're realizing that the only person you really have to give to is yourself. And it's stepping into this sense of Queen of Cups, loving yourself, stepping into that energy, healing yourself, healing these, perhaps inner child wounds, awakening to how what happened in the past is kind of playing out in your present day. And it's like, okay, what do I need to forgive? And then forgive, to release it. We can actually do that so easily. I mean, it takes effort, but it is about forgiving. Once you forgive, all you're doing is releasing that pain. You're looking at that pain. You're being compassionate to yourself. You're almost like hugging that pain, right? And you're saying to yourself, okay, you're safe, because we all want to be safe. And then it's not about condoning what others have done, but it's really allowing yourself to move on, to kind of like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with that. And it's not about shoving it down or putting it in a box and hiding it away, which we all do. It's really more a sense of release. I get this true inner release of, maybe things that you have carried with you since you were a child. I read this thing the other day and it said, our heart chakras and our palms are connected. And one of the things that we can do to help heal our heart chakra is to do things with our hands. And if you think about it, that's what we did as children, right? We finger painted and we played with clay, and we were out in the backyard, digging and playing in the soil. And then as we get to be adults, we kind of move away from that, especially if you go into careers that are more, computer oriented or something like that. And it really kind of talked about how important it is for us, like I take a pottery class. I'm not very good at it, but I really love playing with the clay. And when I go in, I don't expect myself to make perfect pottery. I go in with, I'm doing this just because I enjoy it. So think about it in that way. The other thing is, to spend time in nature and put your palms on the nature. Put your palms down on the grass. Touch the bark of the trees, that type of thing. I love hugging trees too. It just makes you feel so grounded. So try some of that, because I think for some of you, you are at this, it's almost like this fool's energy of, yes, I am really ready for love. But it's also realizing that, you have that little knapsack. You know how the fool has that little knapsack? You have some baggage that you're trying to leave in the past. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the tarot. We got kind of long-winded there. Sorry about that. Okay, so in the present energy, you are attached to either somebody with a King of Pentacles. This could be Earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, but it really doesn't. I'm getting this sense that you may be really attached to trying to build your career, build your financial stability, or you could be attached or even married perhaps to somebody that has a lot of wealth. It's something about financial security. It could have something to do with your childhood. You may have felt like, you could have had a very well provided for childhood, but you could have had a parent that didn't. And I'm saying this, I have a friend that's like that, and she has like everything she could ever want in her life, but she's constantly worried about money. And when I talked to her about it, she said, well, my mother came from a very poor background. So all she did was, talk about, how much things cost and how we had to take good care of everything. And not that that's not true, but it's kind of like sometimes we get these belief systems, not necessarily from our experiences, but the experiences of our parents or grandparents or siblings or friends. Okay, so you have some attachment either to somebody with money or somebody that can provide financial stability for you, or to a job that is, and we're going to clarify these, that are really, in a sense, holding you back. With the devil energy, it's like a super attachment that isn't healthy. There's an unhealthy attachment to either financial stability or your work. Okay, so let's go to your area of resistance or your obstacle. 3 of Wands. You're waiting for your ships to come in. Interesting. I mean, this is a love reading, but this is definitely something that's holding you back from bringing in the true love that you want. And, this is a sense of waiting for this love, waiting for the finances. I almost get the sense that it's kind of like, well, when I get that promotion, then I'll start dating. Or, when I have so much money in the bank, then I'll start dating. You may feel like you don't have the financial stability in order to start dating. Dating can be expensive, and maybe you feel like, I just don't have the financial resources right now. You're waiting for something. Now here is the advice, and it's the Emperor. This is about stepping into your power. But once again, it's about money. To me, it's about money. It's about controlling. Very interesting. These cards are really... I'm going to put that. You're working on building an empire. You're working on building an empire. It's almost like you don't have love on your mind, Gemini. It's almost, there is nothing, no cups here, no cups. But I wonder if this is your, they told me to look at the bottom. It's a broken heart. You're trying to protect your heart that has been broken by focusing on your career or your finances, or it's kind of like your excuse because your heart was so broken in the past that it's almost like I'm shutting that part of me down. And yet I'm getting teary-eyed because this is really I'm feeling your pain as I'm doing this. This is what your heart is wanting. So it's kind of like you're in conflict. You're putting all your time and energy into your work, into finding financial stability. And this dropped too because I haven't gone to the next column yet. You're transforming. There's something that you're transforming. For some of you, your work, you could be finding your confidence again after your work. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. You have a lot of abundance coming your way. I get a sense that you have a lot of abundance coming your way. There's some symbolism there. We are going to clarify, but there's some symbolism there. It's kind of like through your work, I almost get a sense that you're healing your heart. Like, I don't think that you're possibly conscious of that, but that's what I'm getting. It's like your work is building your confidence again. If I were you, one thing that you can do is take a timeline, go back to the last big decision you made about work. And it could be, a year ago or even 3 years ago. Don't go too far back, but say within the last year. And then do a timeline, like list all of like your fears when you made that big transition in your work, even if it was just a belief system. All the things, the transition between actually what was happening in reality and then your feelings, like what fears, what excitement you had about that change, and then kind of plot it out like the timeline of when you did that to here. I think you're going to see something in that about how you have changed. There's some transformation that your work is doing for you that is going to help you bring you into alignment with this person. Really interesting, very deep. And it's kind of interesting because I think, for some of you, you may actually have people in your life that are telling you, some people probably turned off this video when I was like, you're attached to your career, right? I have a feeling that some of you may hear that all the time. You're working too hard. You're spending too much time on this. But there's a reason you're attached to it, because I bet for some of you, your work is rebuilding your confidence. So that you can kind of heal perhaps even some of these inner child wounds. It's helping your awakening. It's helping you to be able to forgive. It's helping you to move on. Okay, so now let's see that. Okay, this is so interesting. And the Sun card. Yeah, you're definitely destined, determined to find happiness and joy and abundance. I mean, this is I almost kind of want to say it's like a career reading. You're getting on top of all of the past. I think it is so funny. This deck is acting so strange. Yeah, so that you can build a strong foundation and have a happy home, that you're holding on to this. I think this is so interesting too, because I didn't even look at the bottom of this, and on the bottom it says marriage. On the bottom of the soulmate. This is so interesting. I think for some of you, you were married in this past situation that has kind of put you on this trajectory. This is part of your soul journey. Some of you may be trying to make money financially, but it's about almost building an empire. But I get the sense that this empire is literally transforming you. You may have started your own job. I mean, your own business. You may have, picked up everything and moved across the country. I did that when I was like 23. I was like, I'm so out of here. I packed my car, my little car. I didn't have a job or anything. Great experience. um, I think that that's it. I think you're actually going to get married, and I think you're going to get married very soon. You may actually have been married to this person in the past that broke your heart, that sent you on this. This whole scenario is to help you build your independence and freedom, because I think in the past you were way too giving. And one of the things is that love is both giving and receiving. And the universe is helping you to learn how to receive. In the past, all you did was give in your romantic connections, your love connections. You never actually received. You may have complained, I never get any love or attention, right? But at the same time, it's because you weren't open to receiving. And now the universe, you have done the work, and the universe is like, okay, now Gemini, it's time for you to learn how to receive. And you are about to get like a big abundance. And it helps you in a way because you needed to learn this lesson in order to learn how to be a loyal heart. And I don't mean like, a cheating heart in that sense, the loyal heart as far as giving and receiving. Oh my goodness. I'm getting tingles. This is a really lovely reading, Gemini. You're about to get major abundance. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify this King of Pentacles and the Devil. Oh my goodness, so nice. Five of Wands. I think for a lot of you, you have felt like there is drama all around you. For some reason, it could have been the drama was in your love life or in your family life. And it's kind of like it's taken a lot of patience for you to kind of navigate through this. But look at this. You're offering the universe your cup of love. You're kind of like, I think you had to go through a long healing process. It could be even like 2 or 3 years that you have really been working on this. And it's kind of like, okay, I can give my cup of love and I can receive my cup of love, because the Temperance card is about giving and receiving. Kind of the two pictures of water, in the Temperance tarot card of the traditional tarot. The angel is, putting the two pictures together, trying to blend two things that don't really go together, like oil and water, and trying to come up with the perfect mixture. And it's kind of like you have learned how to you have had to learn how to come up with the perfect mixture of giving and receiving. This is a true transformation for you. Gemini, I would say that part of it is that it's stepping into this new world. You're manifesting this new world that you can step into. You've been waiting for a very, very long time. And I feel like for a lot of you, it has been your work that has kind of been the salvation from this broken heart. But it's also this sense of these cards are... I almost feel like somebody keeps moving the cards around on me. I really get a sense, though, that you're stepping into this new chapter. I would say that one of the things you could also try, like over the next week or so, is just, when people give you a compliment or something, say thank you. Like, receive the compliment. If somebody wants to do something nice for you, allow them to do it. I feel like you need to really step into this arena of accepting, of receiving, because You want to receive this. All right, the Three of Pentacles. Oh my. Yeah, Knight of Cups. You've been waiting. You've been waiting. This King of Pentacles keeps coming up. You are so attached to this King of Pentacles. I think the King of Pentacles is this financial stability. I also feel like the King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles is also the energy of a long-term committed spouse, somebody that's really grounded. The head of the household type of energy. And gender doesn't matter, but it's kind of like the King and the Queen of Pentacles. I don't think we have the Queen yet, but the King and the Queen of Pentacles is that, considered that court couple that stays together forever. That they're very grounded. They have this really happy home. Everything is coming up roses for them. But it's because they're so grounded and they're very nurturing to each other. The King of Pentacles is, somebody that has enough that they can share. There's something about sharing, but also accepting here. And yeah, and wanting to celebrate this. Wanting, it's almost like I feel like there's this energy of, you may not have it on the outside of you. You may not necessarily be recognizing it, but the cards are definitely saying that you're wanting a long-term committed relationship. You really, I think if you really stopped for a minute and got into your heart space, you would be like, yep, that's exactly what I want. Okay, so, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, Temperance on the bottom again. I think it's about working on really combining, love and career, giving and receiving, taking something of the old. When you're looking at your childhood, what is it that you really enjoyed about your childhood in the past? Or your beliefs about childhood or your beliefs about family. How can you combine that with the person that you are now and move forward? Because sometimes when we go on this spiritual path, we take a look at the past and we're like, oh, wow, I don't want any of that. We try to run from it, but there's parts of that you definitely want to take forward with you. Okay, so with this transformation, working on your empire, this is your advice. You're transforming. You're working on your empire. You're trying to mend. I cannot believe this. Mend your broken heart. Look at this is the Eight of Pentacles. And look at, this is the butterfly. This is your transformation. This is you. It almost looks like a heart. Like when I looked at it, it looks like half of a heart. Like your heart is broken and you're working on mending your heart. Your work is helping you to mend your heart. Your work is helping you to transform into a whole healed, heart person. And it's all about, you're giving your love, but I really get the sense that you're getting love. Like you're putting it out and you're accepting it. You're wishing upon a star. You've gotten to the point in your healing process. Like I think for some of you, you're kind of like, okay, my work is in a good spot. Like you may have buried yourself in your work. You may have really tried to start this new business and really put a lot of effort into it. And now it's kind of like up and maybe going, it's maybe not where you really want it to go, but you're still working on it. But maybe you don't have to work on it so hard. Maybe you can reach out and start, working on the romance that you're trying to find. You're looking at different options. I think once again, it's kind of like you're trying to figure out, like, what do I take with me and what do I leave behind? Really nice. Okay, so in the future, you are determined to have this abundance. Ah, interesting. You're having victory. But the thing that you have to get over is that you are concerned that if you step into a romantic connection, you're going to have to give up your freedom. That's the thing that's kind of holding you back. You don't feel like you can have your independence and freedom, which is the Nine of Pentacles. Like you can't keep working on this path if you get committed in a long-term committed relationship or get married or start a family. You're kind of like, oh my goodness. You're still so determined, right? You're determined to almost have it all because the sun is, having it all. Could be a big part of your soul's mission is learning how to balance better. And we're in Libra season, right? I mean, it's just perfect timing. It's about learning that, you can be part of your job, your career, building your empire, and at the same time still have a romance. It's partly because you feel like you have to overgive in relationships. And what you have to realize is that you're learning how to also receive. So if you're in a committed relationship, look at all the different options. Maybe this person starts working with you if that's what you want. Or you prioritize your life in such a way that, you communicate what it is that you need and you accept the help from them that you need in order to keep working on your work. For some of you, I really feel like you may, because we have the star card here, this is also about healing, wishing upon a star, having your hopes and dreams come true. But I get a sense that for a lot of you, it's also we have a lot of spiritual cards because we have the Temperance card has come out a couple of times. And, the star card has come out a couple of times and the sun. You could have started like a spiritual business or something like that. And you're concerned, some of you may be concerned that the business that you have started, especially if you started a spiritual business, that you're going to have a harder time bringing in somebody that understands what it is that you do or why you do it, understands your spirituality. That's interesting. Okay, so let's have your romance angel cards. Let's see what we have here. Deception, past life relationship, wedding, codependency. Yes. So I think that is what you are kind of clearing out. I think this deception is perhaps somebody from the past. I don't think that's now. I think that this may be your past relationship. For some of you, this person could be coming back around. Like if you're a twin flame, if you believe that your connection is a twin flame, you have definitely learned this lesson or are still learning it. And part of it is, learning how to recognize when others are being deceptive. Now, deceptive doesn't mean that they're betraying you, but, it says someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So that could be you, Gemini, but, it could be the other person or a person that you dealt with in the past, because we also have past life relationship, which also means somebody could be coming back around, especially in retrograde season. The planets are all direct October 18th. So until then, you could perhaps have somebody returning that, you were in a codependent relationship. And it's kind of like you needed to have that relationship end so that you could really heal this. You could learn, you gave way too much in this relationship. And this person took, and it's kind of like you may have stayed in that relationship because they had so much money, for the financial stability of it. And you may have felt like you couldn't provide your own financial stability, but now you can. And we have a wedding and marriage coming up in this. So I really feel like for some of you, there is a wedding or a marriage. I think it's your fears that are holding you back. I think, if I were to say anything, I think it's your fear that you're going to have difficulty balancing between home and career. I think for some of you too, it's about really, for maybe the first time in your life, you have the financial stability that you never had in the past. And that's what kept you in a past relationship. You were codependent because of the financial stability that that relationship provided. But now you have learned definitely how to bring in the money yourself. And this has kind of transformed you into this person that realizes, hey, I can give, I can receive, I can provide for myself, I can be independent, and I can have my freedom. Like, I don't have to go into a relationship concerned that I can't leave it because I won't be financially stable if I do. That won't resonate with everybody, but I think that it may resonate with some of you. Okay, so here is your creativity oracle card. Manifestation. Soon you may manifest the goal you focus spiritual energies upon. Yeah, well, I know what you're manifesting. You're manifesting your empire, Gemini. Really, really nice. Yeah, you're definitely on the track of having this financial abundance. And joy and love. The Sun card is more than just financial abundance. I think you're concentrating on the financial abundance, but very shortly. You have so much more coming in. And Gemini, you so deserve it. I know, over, I guess what, it's been like 3 years. It seems like it's been kind of a tough time for the Geminis. I mean, I think it's gotten easier maybe in the last 6 months or so. But yeah, you definitely turned the corner. All right. So here is your angel message card to finish out your reading. Feelings. I'm sorry. The title is Conflict. Feelings which you have suppressed for a very long time. That's where this inner child stuff is. Are yearning to be acknowledged and expressed. You were torn between what you think is the right thing to do and what your heart wants. And this is the primary cause of stress in your life. We, your angels, urge you to follow your heart. Do what you would love, not what you think you should do. You know, for some of you, you may feel like what you need to do is provide for yourself. But there's also something here about really wanting a love. And I'm putting that up there. I hope you can see it. I'm going to try to hold it really steady, so that maybe you can see that. I think that there's really something there. It's something about your inner child. You know, give your inner child a hug. Go back to that time in your life where you kind of think that you maybe went on to this. You know, what caused you to be in a codependent relationship? And it's usually because we're trying to be safe. So I feel like for a lot of you, it was looking for financial stability. And so it's kind of like what put you onto that path, what, thing from the past, from childhood, put you onto that path. And then give that child, that young you, that, a big hug and say it's okay. Because those feelings are wanting to come out, really nice. For others of you, I just got the message. For others of you, it's kind of like you never thought you could do this, you never thought you could build an empire. People may have told you you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not, I don't know, technology enough, It's kind of like when I started this channel, my kids were like, you don't know anything about technology. And I was like, I'll learn. Here I am. So it's kind of, it's one of those things about asking yourself, what inner child wound has put you onto this path? And then really just loving yourself and being compassionate to that part of yourself. And realize that will really do the true healing that you need to do so that you can also receive a love in the future. Well, Gemini, what a deep reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it for you. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you would consider sharing, or subscribing. And I do. I wish you much love and light in this situation and all your situations. Bye for now.